NBA basketball totals for Thursday, December 15th. This is our segment where we check out the NBA totals across the board and we kind of try to pick out which games we think have some value and we go either over or under the total as set by odds makers. This is our NBA segment. Let me minimize something there. As well, we have our NCAA basketball segment out there as well. Good day in the NBA yesterday, going 3-0. Hopefully, they'll give us some momentum finishing off December here. As well, don't forget to check out SBR for all the odds and sportsbook reviews and sportsbooks to avoid, all that good stuff at SBR. So be sure to check us out. Let's dive into some games. Let's check out some totals. So the first one up, we got a Chicago and Milwaukee. Right now, odds makers have it at 209.5, and I'm going over that total in this matchup. The last four games, Chicago has not been kind of close to this total just once, but they haven't really been about this total because they've been bogged down playing some pretty good defensive teams like Miami, San Antonio, and Detroit. Now they get a chance to play a Milwaukee team who's also still playing very underrated defense. However, the tempo is going to be there, and I think Chicago's going to go ahead and score, and I know Milwaukee's going to be able to score because Chicago defensively has been much better than last year, but still both these teams can get up and down the floor and they both can score, and I think that's what's going to happen tonight. That's why that total almost looks too high. Let's take a look at some numbers here. We got Chicago. Did I mention? I didn't mention this. Milwaukee, on the other hand, in their last four games, they've gone over this total, over this 209.5. Their last four games. So Chicago, last four, not under the total. Milwaukee, last four, over this total. So oddsmakers kind of met them in the middle. All right, I wanted to mention that. Sometimes I go too fast. I got so much information I got to get in such a short amount of time. All right, we got Chicago averaging 102.6 points per game. Milwaukee averaging 104 points per game. That does not get us there. Defensively, they don't get us there either. Milwaukee's allowing 103.6 points per game, while Chicago's allowing just 99.8. That ranks fifth in the NBA. But I think what does get us there is the fact that both these teams get up and down the floor. We got Chicago, they're averaging 86.7 attempts per game. That's really solid. Milwaukee, they're allowing 85.4. That ranks 13th. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we got Milwaukee getting up 84.7 points, 84.7 shots per game. Sorry, guys. While Chicago is allowing 87.3. That's one of the faster clips in the league. As far as Chicago, they like to get up and down the floor. Now Milwaukee, they're at home, and I think they're going to control the tempo. Chicago's going to go ahead and get up and down. Milwaukee could score, though. They're shooting 46.1% from the field. The Bulls have been pretty good, allowing opponents 44.5%. That ranks 10th in the league. But Milwaukee, they're shooting 51% on their two-point shot. That ranks fifth. And they could score. I mean, you look at their last few games here. Although they gave up a lot of points, like at Washington, they scored 105. Atlanta, they scored 110. Their last home game against Portland, 115. A couple games before that, they scored 112. That was against Brooklyn. That doesn't count. Chicago, they can score at times as well if the tempo's there, and I think it's going to be there tonight. We got Chicago right now. They're shooting 44% for the floor. That's not bad, but they move the ball pretty well. They're averaging about 21 assists per game. And Milwaukee, they're averaging about 24 assists per game, which ranks fifth in the NBA. Points in the paint, they're second in the league. They're going to be able to score off this Chicago team that gives up quite a bit. Milwaukee defensively, they've been good, but not great. They're still not a lockdown defense, but surprisingly, they have some nice percentages. So at the end of the day, this is a numbers play for me. This really is, because that seems a little bit too high, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take over that total. I think both these teams score a lot tonight. Kind of an opposite play, just a little bit. Next one up, we got is Portland and Denver. That line might have changed. Let me double check that. 220 is what I got it at. I'm going over that total. I had over the 220. I want to make sure it's not fluctuating before I go ahead and make this. So this is, when I make these videos, I'm always, the number I'm getting is what I got right now, like as we're going on this, and then I go ahead and I make my own, personal play. So let's go ahead and let's break this one down. We got Portland and Denver. I think this is going to be a track meet. We got 220. Portland's averaging 109.8 points per game. Denver's averaging 105.6. Defensively, they're two of the worst teams in the league, with Denver allowing 108.8 points per game. That's shocking to me. I can't believe they're that bad defensively. Portland, they're just as bad. 111.4 they're allowing. Shooting percentages wise, defensively across the board, they're two of the worst in the league. I'm not even going to get into it. They're very poor, but they both can score. Portland, they're shooting 45.8% from the floor. That ranks 10th in the league, while Denver's shooting 43.7%. That's not that great, but they're shooting 35% from beyond the arc. That ranks 14th, and they get up and down the floor. Right now, Denver is averaging 88 attempts per game. That is quick. That ranks third in the league. Portland, no problem, 87.4 attempts per game. That ranks 5th. They're going to get up and down. This is going to be a track meet. Both these teams can score. I think they're going to be able to do it tonight against these two subpar defenses. And the last one up we got is New York versus Golden State. And this, again, is a little bit of an opposite play for me because this game looks like it should be like 240. But I'm going under, and it's 224. That's still a lot of points. And I hate going the under against Golden State, as I'm sure you all do, but I just don't think they get there. If you look at Golden State recently, they're, over their last 5-7 games, they're kind of starting to play a little bit better defense. I think they're going to put the clamps down on New York. I don't think New York's going to be able to score a lot tonight. That's just my own personal opinion. Tempo was going to be fast, so that makes me a little bit wary, but I like the value on that. 224, man, that's a lot of points. I'm surprised Oddsmakers didn't set it like at 226, 228. New York's averaging 105 points per game. Golden State, they're off the charts, 117.8. Defensively, New York's allowing 107.3. Golden State could put up 130 tonight in a heartbeat. Golden State, they're allowing 106.1. Slowly but surely, we're starting to see the Warriors start to get back into their defensive mindset, which made them an elite team. Let's look at their percentages. You'll see what I'm talking about. New York, I'm not going to talk about. Well, let's mention them real quick. They are allowing 48.4% on opponent 2-point shooting. That ranks 8th in the league. That's not bad. And 44.5% overall, that ranks 11th in opponent shooting percentage. But they got to defend from beyond the arc. That's going to be the issue tonight, of course, against Golden State. I don't have to talk about Golden State's numbers. They're off the chart. New York, pretty decent numbers. They're shooting 44.6% from the floor. That ranks about the middle of the league. But this is what I like about this game. Golden State, they're finally getting around to their defensive identity. They're allowing opponents right now 32.6% from distance. That ranks 1st in the league. Bet you didn't know that. As well, they rank 3rd in the league in overall opponent shooting percentage at 43.3%. As well, they rank 3rd in the league in opponent effective field goal percentage and 5th in opponent shooting efficiency. They are starting to come around and show why, even though they go up tempo, that teams can struggle to score against them or keep up. They have a really good scheme. They're long, they're fast, they get into the passing lanes, they contest every shot. I mean, they're really tough defensively. I think New York's going to struggle to score 100 tonight, which is going to help keep us. They might score maybe 100 around there, 100, 105. But Golden State's they're gonna beat them by double digits, I think. So that's my opinion. But I don't care about that. What I care about is the total. I don't think New York's gonna be able to score enough to get us over that 224. And that's that. Okay, quick recap of those games. Those are our games for today. We got Chicago, Milwaukee over the 209.5 in a surprising. Sorry, my computer flashed on me. Almost, the power's getting low. Sorry, it's a portable. Okay, Chicago, Milwaukee. I digress. Okay, Chicago, Milwaukee over the 209.5 and what's going to be a surprisingly up-tempo, good, well-scoring affair. Portland, Denver over the 220, which is going to be really, really fast. And then New York and Golden State under the 224, in which I don't think New York's going to be able to keep up. Those are our 3 NBA totals picks. And be sure to check out SBR, and I wish you luck on your picks today.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SBR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.